For over 20 years, bringing you extraordinary entertainment. This is Extraordinary Entertainment. This is the Extraordinary Network. Live from Atlanta, Georgia, with your hosts, Chris, Rashad, Jeremy, Summer, and Najee. This is Extraordinary Unplugged.
Good
We
evening.
are back.
Good
Hola.
Welcome
What's
to
up?
another edition of Extraordinary Unplugged. I am Christopher S. Walker.
I'm Rashad West.
I am Summer Kai.
Come on, Kai.
I am Jeremy Tamika Scott.
I am Summer Kai, and it's so great to be back today.
Oh,
It's two of me in this BIH.
okay. Hey man, what do I want? What background I want? Let's see.
You better be over there switching backgrounds. Yes, where you gonna be at today, Rashad?
We're
I
gonna be
think
at
I
the
like
beach
this
today.
because I have not been to the beach. I haven't been to the beach in a year, and I normally go multiple times a year.
Mm.
I have some lasagna, but I ain't even want that. I want some Wendy's.
You want some
Yes, for the
Wendy's?
Wendy's.
That son of
Mm-hmm.
Baconator.
Oh,
Yes, for the Wendy's.
yeah. I know what I really want. I want a Carolina Whopper. They don't sell it.
Carolina. Where you get that from?
Burger King, but
Oh,
it's like they only sell it for like a month and then it just disappears. But it's the
Sound
best
hot.
burger. It's the best burger from there. You know, I don't really like the Whopper, but the Carolina Whopper
Carolina Whopper. That
is
sounds very interesting.
amazing.
When did they have that?
When they were doing those different type of Whoppers, I think they had like a Texas Whopper, they had like a St. Louis Whopper, but the Carolina Whopper was the best.
So they were doing different states.
Different states that were known for barbecue.
Oh, okay.
So
Interesting.
I don't care what anybody say. Tennessee, outside of Georgia, you know, we're not known for our barbecue. We're known for our soul food. But when it
Yes.
comes to barbecue, Memphis wins. I don't care what anybody say.
Okay. Well, I won't say nothing then.
No, I was just saying. I do like St. Louis barbecue as well.
Maybe I'm just not really a barbecue person. That's what I think I've settled on.
Hmm.
Shoot.
Because everyone that claims to like truly love barbecue, when I say what kind of barbecue I like, they be like, "Girl, you don't eat barbecue because there ain't no way."
What
What
type of
you like?
barbecue do
Like,
you
What you
like?
like?
um, So I'm a saucy person, not a dry rub person.
Okay.
But Chicago for me was good barbecue. Nobody agrees with me, not one person, except for unless you from Chicago and you're like, I know which place you talk about specifically.
Can I give you credit on that? Chicago got some good barbecue. And
What's
I'm
going
dead
Thank
on,
serious.
Trey?
you.
You know,
Chicago has number one best food in America.
I'm not
I
gonna
say
say
that
that.
all the
Really?
time.
I don't know about that.
Well,
I've
you ain't
never
got
heard
to.
that,
I
but
do.
yeah.
I know well about it. It's
Well, you
good.
are
Yes,
from. So
exactly.
okay, when it comes to pizza, let's talk about pizza.
Chicago deep dish, baby.
Okay.
Chicago deep dish.
Yeah, that deep dish stuff.
Like, give me a hot dog. Um, I
Hold
mean, you
on.
can give
Okay,
me a
I'm
lot
with
of
you, Summer.
things.
Come on. What else?
I mean,
Oh, I'm getting hungry.
okay. I mean, I got options when my family's from there, so when I eat there, I know what I want to eat, and where I go to eat, I'm going to enjoy myself. That's
Exactly.
all.
Look, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one, though. You know, wherever I'm going to eat at, I'm going to definitely enjoy myself. You know what? I was, you remember last week before we even jump into tonight, because y'all already know when we talk about food, we go into a full tangent about food.
Okay.
But no, I had passed hungry as fuck the other day because I was thinking about y'all, and I was like, you know what? I gotta go and try it because I know what we talked about last week when y'all was talking about hungry as fuck. So I'm definitely have to go in there and try it. I didn't realize there was one down the street from my house.
Really, I've never had that, so I'll need to put it
I
on my
heard about
list.
it.
I mean, I'm asking, should I put it on my list? Cause in the
Um,
foodie group. Should I try it?
I ain't never even had it.
Okay. Did you eat it,
Mm-mm.
Chris?
I haven't tried it yet. I want to try it though.
Okay.
So maybe we
Let me
should go,
know.
Summer. Maybe we should try it together.
Yes, when you want to go to this.
Look, I'm down to go whenever you want to go.
I'm free Thursday.
Come
Okay.
on and go with
I'm free
me.
Friday.
We can.
Come on
Okay.
over
Well, look.
tonight.
Oh, we can do Friday if you want to go.
Yeah, we can do Friday.
I would also like to know what's Wednesday looking like, Rashad.
Yeah, right, Rashad.
Alert.
Y'all talking about karaoke?
Alert.
Y'all talking
Yeah,
about
Absolutely.
karaoke?
What else could we be
yeah.
talking about? Amen.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Amen again.
Yeah, y'all come out Wednesday. Each and every Wednesday, karaoke at Mix.
Yes,
It's
because
in
I want to do
Midtown.
long ago. Okay, let me pull out some
Somebody
blues.
do that all the time there.
Oh, now I gotta skip it.
That's
Fuck that.
that's Freddie.
That is not
Somebody
Freddie.
sing
That
that
is
song
Luther.
all the time
No,
there.
no, no. That's the guy's name that sing that song that come to karaoke.
Oh,
His
well,
name is
fuck
Freddie.
Freddie because Freddie stole my song. Okay, tell him I said it.
And I think
Amen.
they're on spring break this week too, so he probably show up.
That's okay. I got others. Don't worry.
So,
Ah,
so is that the move for Wednesday for us?
that should be the win. But
It will be
again,
for me.
I want everybody to
Jeremy, you
understand.
going to?
I think about it.
Jerry gonna
Come
be
on
at
now,
work.
Devil.
Jeremy.
Look,
Hey,
Hey,
D
hey,
Lyric.
D Lyric.
What's
but I
going on,
will
D
say this.
Lyric?
Look, I will say this. I want everybody to know this. Everybody always say, "Hey, Rashad, I'm at Mix. Where you at?"
What's going on,
It says
Rachel?
it says starts at 9:30 on the flyer.
What's up,
Rashad's not getting
Rachel?
there early. That's just
So what
Rashad,
time are
I'll
you going to
go.
be there? So because I'm going to get there a little earlier because I have to do a practice song, and then I'm going to be before the line get too long because then I might not get my song in.
oh,
You know,
oh
The
yeah, yeah.
food is
So
good, so
eleven
that's why
Food
I
thirty.
is
be
definitely
there.
good.
11:30. I'll be there by 11:30.
11:30. Ooh,
Yeah,
child.
because remember
I'm
we're
gonna
there
get there
till
by
3 o'clock.
10 then, because by 11:30 I might be wrapping
11:30.
it up.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
already
late.
sleepy.
I'm already tired, boss.
But just so
What?
y'all
What?
know, I mean, and DJ Rick can,
Yes,
he might
look,
chime
look.
in.
Yes, D Lyric. Jeremy, yes.
Absolutely. Hey,
Right.
Rachel.
Hey, Rashad, how come
Thank you. Thank you. Well, now why if it started at 9:30, you ain't getting there till 11:30?
That's my question.
so you appreciate this, Jeremy? You got to
Really?
hear me out. We're there from
Okay.
not. It starts from 9:30. We end at 3. Then
Oh,
In the
sometimes
okay.
morning,
there's after hours karaoke.
Oh,
If
In
okay.
I get there,
American time, 3 o'clock. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Eastern
So
Okay.
if I
Standard
get
Let
Time.
me let
so
me
if I
tell you
get
what.
there that early, that's a shift. That's a work shift, and I feel like
Hmm.
if that makes sense. If
It
I'm going
does,
to
because if
That
karaoke
you
at
get a
this
does.
set
shift,
fee, then
I need
I'm
to
gonna make it make
yeah
sense.
yeah.
So look, this is what I'm saying. Me, I'm going to sleep. You understand me? You ain't trying to fuck with nobody at 3 a.m. I'm trying to fuck my pillow.
Okay,
All
okay.
right,
That's
let's start rolling. It's,
All right,
Yeah,
let's ready for the topics.
yeah.
that's
Let's
it.
go ahead and jump into this week's topics. Everybody, let's go.
OnlyFans.
Y'all want to know? Let me tell you, this first topic was hilarious.
Yes,
Man,
The
Rashad, go ahead.
gospel artist and pastor Marvin Sapp under fire for seemingly holding congregation hostage until they donated $40,000. Then we got Jess Hilarious confronts Breakfast Club co-host on air over maternity leave fallout. Then we have Tennessee Rep Justin Pearson.
Oops, I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry.
Oh, you all right?
I'm
We
all
good?
over the place.
So we
That
got
little
Tennessee Rep
T-Mobile
Justin
service.
Pearson snaps after GOP lawmaker comes for his dead brother in a heated gun debate. That was actually a good speech he made, and I'm glad he did not shut up. Then we got Sexy Red Sue for asking fans to attack her grandmother. Glad we got to get to that. Then we got Sherry Shepard and Neil Long reportedly have confrontation at Othello opening night. And then we got a update on the topic we covered last year, Sean Kingston's verdict. Singer and mom Janice Turner found guilty in fraud trial.
Janice got caught
okay,
with no wig on.
okay,
Let's go ahead and get into
okay.
this. Let's get into this. Close the doors.
Hilarious.
Close the door.
Yes, yes,
We got the video.
yes, we do.
Play
Let's
it.
So we'll go ahead and play the video first, and then we'll go ahead and dissect it like we always do. Absolutely. All right.
They understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. It's 1,000 that's watching online.
Close the doors. Jeremy, close the
This
doors.
is a small seed. If I get 1,000
See,
online
look,
to
we
give
able to
this,
touch.
if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving.
What?
Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. And they.
This is easy for you because you got my money. It's easy for you to come up here and walk. It's a lot. I know we've discussed tithing before on our platform. We talked about offering and things like that, and what it means to tithe. It means something different, not always financial. But it's the audacity. You're gonna tell the ushers to lock the doors. Then you're gonna be mad. Like you're gonna be mad at the ushers for not moving quickly because they're just as astonished as the audience is. The congregation is like, you want me to do what? You
That's
gonna not
crazy,
only
right?
I gotta go to the bathroom, so you gonna hold me hostage longer than what I need to be because I've already given what I'm gonna give. I tell people all the time, if I upon my heart, I've given a lot of money to churches. You know, if the Spirit lead me to give $200, $300, I'm going to give. I'm not obligated to give anything financially because God does not need my money.
That's right.
But go ahead, y'all.
That's right.
So I look at it like it's a school. Think about that too. You go there for the right thing to learn, but there's ways that, of course, it's hard to say that I'm not a parent, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that we're still paying, taxes for textbooks and things like that. So staying, I guess, in the church. Now, this is why my old church, my uncle always said no phones, and he was the bishop. Don't bring your phone in here. We got tax time to go on. So I'm pretty much thinking that I honestly don't see much wrong in it. I just see the wrong probably, uh, I don't know, just having a phone in the church because they're doing worse than what he did. His was just televised. Think about that too.
Mm-hmm.
When you say phone in the church, can you expound a little bit? Given today's climate and things that,
How you gonna cash app them if you ain't got no phone?
yeah, yeah. So how we going? And then think about it like this.
You'll be so old school too.
I'm A and
Cash
B.
them,
Oh, you saying using? So you're talking
I'm
about
gonna
actually
wait my
using the
turn.
phone. You talking about using your phone, not
recording.
necessarily having
They don't
it.
want to see you
No, but
recording.
that didn't look like a phone recording. That looked like the televised version for the internet that somebody shared and
Right.
decided to say something about. But I'm gonna wait my turn. Hallelujah. Amen.
It's your turn. Go.
Okay, well
Yeah.
listen, here's my thing. I have been in the church for a long time, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
there are different ways depending on the type of church that you go to, where this practice is common. So I'm gonna agree with Najee with that. However, when you don't want movement in the church, usually from my experience, you will close the doors, right? During like altar call. Now back in the day and at the smaller churches, of course, you will stop people from coming in and out during the given time because people are passing around that money and you don't want it to be an unsafe environment. I have no problem with that. This is a conference though that he set up, which means that they likely charged a fee for people to come to the conference, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then, so ties has nothing to do with this because this
Mm.
is not your regular service. This is a
Right.
conference service. So they charged you to come to the conference and then they took up an additional offering. And if you will recall, just from the video we just listened to, he said, I know you have given already, but I'm going to require you to give again. My issue with this is not him asking for the $40,000. My issue is how you ask for it, because it's 2025 and you have alternate ways. See, his excuse, because he did go online and say, "This is my reasoning behind asking." Okay. I don't know if y'all saw that, but your reasoning doesn't sit well with me for the simple fact that there isn't a security issue when you're asking people to give with their phones. What, they gonna run down the aisle and steal your phone while you giving? You know what I'm saying? Like, number one, I just feel like there's a way to do this where the man of God could have been protected in this situation, because
Mhm.
he used the excuse that it's 2025, so online people are doing this. But my thing is, that's going to share his thing and take it out of context. My thing is that you knew that you were setting up the conference and you had a goal in mind. So why not
You
lead
did.
with that ahead of time and ask for people to give whatever it was you was going to get in the sanctuary and ask them for
Mhm.
ahead of time. That way, the people who wanted to give could give. My issue with Marvin Sapp is that when they have, and preachers like him, is that you have these conferences just so that you can ask for money. The goal is not money. If you are a true man of God, the goal is to save souls and to
Amen.
get people in alignment with God's will of for their life. If you are talking about money 3 times, how many times did you ask altar call?
Hmm.
How many times did you pray for somebody? How many times did you set somebody aside and ask them what their needs was when they gave you all this money before they ever showed up? To just be here thinking that they was gonna get a word, thinking that they was gonna get some salvation, or maybe that they was gonna get something that helped them be able to deal with life after today. You know what I'm saying? That's my issue. You
Mhm.
there in 2025, there are so many other avenues that you could go down, where when they signed up for the conference, which I'm sure they could have done online, they could have given whatever amount they knew what their goal was. They could have given it during registration. The thing is when they done counted the money, because this how it was old school. They done counted the money and it didn't add up to what
It
they
didn't add
wanted
up
it
to the
to.
goal.
So now they gonna ask for another offering. I have always and will forever have a problem with that. Because if you look scripturally, because we always talking about Jesus, right? Jesus turned the tables of the Pharisees over
Hmm.
because they were charging for blessings.
Hmm.
And that ain't how God works.
Yes.
Okay, so don't use scripture and then misinterpret the
What's going
word,
on, Rice?
because also the word says there will be a special place in hell for the false prophets.
Mm.
So I'm just saying, I'm not gonna put I'm not gonna speak down on the man of God, but I
Woo!
will say,
Summer.
but what I will say is you will have to answer for your true intentions, and God knows your heart and knows that you was out of order. And that's what I'm gonna say. You was out of order because the purpose of you being a pastor ain't money, and you had a Rolex on. So if $40,000 was it, put your Rolex in the fucking bucket and move on. Okay, because
Exactly.
I'm sure your Rolex could have covered all of that.
All of it. And
Okay,
Mhm.
40,000 and then some.
all
Jeremy,
right.
Well,
what you got?
Summer,
Yeah,
I
Jeremy,
couldn't
what you was
agree
gonna say?
more, but
Go ahead.
no, I couldn't agree more. As for me and my house, we gonna follow the fire and emergency safety plans,
Mm.
which require us to have an exit and egress. And I will not participate in anything that requires the doors, because I do understand, as a preacher's kid, I understand the safety involved while money is being exchanged. I just want everybody to understand that the manner in which it was disseminated, and it
What's
wasn't
going
even
on,
necessarily
Shanae?
the
Hey,
locking of
Quizzo.
the closing of the doors, because he said close, not lock. It was the manner and the repetition and the tone in which he said it. It was unbecoming of a man of God,
Mm.
and I thought that it was very aggressive for somebody who
Mhm.
was asking for money. So it
Yes.
was, in my opinion, we got to start having a deeper conversation about how the church is the black community's biggest op. The church is the black community's biggest op. We, as somebody who grew up in the church, I feel comfortable saying that. My father was a pastor. I have seen the church destroy more lives than it's lifted up. And I think if not more lives, then about equal. And then we got to talk about the people who are stuck in this repetitious cycle of going to the church and seeing no change, not in the church, not in the community, not in their lives. We have to continue to have the conversation about how the church is hindering the Black community. And if we don't have that conversation, then we can't change the manner in which the church is showing up in our community. Because I know people who've been praying to the same God, going to the same church, singing in the same choir for decades and ain't seen no progress.
That's true.
And that's concerning. I do not think that Marvin Sapp had
I
nefarious
agree.
intent. I don't think that he was willfully being, you know, perfidious. He wasn't trying to hurt
Like
anyone.
Come on, big words. Come
He
on,
really, I
Perfidious.
think he
mayonnaise.
wasn't trying to hurt anyone. I think it just so happened
Yeah,
that this
right.
is the way that it happened. And I like what he said afterward. He did apologize, but we should not be restricting movement in the church. And I'm not even mad at him closing the doors. I'm mad at the way that he didn't even give the people time to close the doors. He
Of
didn't get
course.
like, we heard you. We trying to get to the door. Like, because like Summer said, they close the doors all the time. And Najee said it too. They close the doors all the time for various reasons. And the spirit can't move the way that it needs to when there's so much movement happening in the church.
hmm
There needs to be a stillness so God can be welcome in a way that makes sense. So you break and disturb the spirit when people are getting up and going to the bathroom. They ask for pieces of gum. So controlling the congregation makes sense by closing the doors and the ushers enforcing the movement in and out.
Yep.
But it's just like,
Not the white folks that raised the money to a state farm.
mm-hmm, they
I
have
mean,
done. Oh yeah.
it's a TD Jakes
As for me and
conference.
my house, I just have not felt comfortable at church in a long time, and it ain't even because of the gay shit. It's just like
There's
I
a lot
feel
of
like
church hurt.
y'all scheming and scamming, and ain't nobody getting no breakthroughs. We come
You
here,
doing the most.
we shout, we scream, we give our money, and go back to the same sunken place
Mm.
we was in before we came up in here. I
Mm.
don't see, and that's not for everybody. Some people go there and they get what God intended for them. But I'm speaking on the masses.
Mm.
And you got to understand me when I say this because I want to be very clear. And they try to say that it's not, but in my opinion, this is my opinion. So don't come at me about my goddamn. Don't. This is my opinion.
Don't do you.
There is a big difference between God and what the church has become
Mm-hmm.
because it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost in the Trinity. You notice how they didn't include the church in that?
Right.
You notice how it's not a quadruple, it's a threesome.
Hmm.
Hmm.
You notice how there's a holy trinity. There's not the church is not included in that because the church is of man. And there are so many corrupt churches. The Catholic Church,
Mm.
there's so many corrupt churches all
The
over the
Catholic
place.
Church is having sex with the babies
That
and
part.
selling children.
And
Exactly.
we've been
Okay.
paying
Bring it
we've
down.
So
been
when
paying
we talk
scriptures so
about
they
God,
could.
we have to continue to put distinctions between the two.
There's a lot of church hurt to back up that, Jeremy. That's exactly right. There's a lot of church hurt, and it ain't got nothing to do. It's the fact that you go to church for a certain level. A church is a hospital. I'm
hmm
supposed to come here for a healing, and if I'm not getting healed when I come, then what the fuck am I putting money in your pocket for? When
Mm-hmm.
I need something, if I can't go to the same church I've been tithing at for 20 years to ask for a little help on my light bill, like somebody in the comments said, then what the fuck purpose is it for me to give and be charitable when I'm not a part of the charity and I come here and I contribute? What about the church building fund where there ain't never a new church? What about the church car fund when there ain't never a new vehicle? What about, you know what
Rashad.
I'm saying? Like there's a lot that's added to this situation that's very frustrating. And I just say you want to talk about how it's 2025
You
and
got that right.
everybody's putting everything on social media. That's true. But 2025, there's also a lot of new ways that we can give that didn't exist in the 80s and 70s or
Now
whatever
she may let
whatever
you go
have
to
you.
the church for the mothers.
I mean, whatever you go
I
to church for, it doesn't
I
matter. But
go to the
but
gay
the point
sex.
is that I'm coming here for some guidance. And if
Mm-hmm.
the only thing you're guiding me to is emptying my fucking wallet, maybe I had just enough money to give my tithes, give my offering, my extra offering, and take my kids out to eat after the service and put
That's true,
gas in my
though.
fucking car to last me through the week because I only get
Summer.
paid once.
Summer. I don't know if I shared this with you all, but I know I shared it with Rashad and Chris, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
This was so early on, but when I was a teenager, my pastor was arrested. My pastor was arrested for
Oh.
sexual assault.
Mm.
And he and a group of pastors between Michigan and Ohio and Kentucky had been assaulting young girls on their conference. He was on America's Most Wanted,
Mm.
and this is the pastor
Awfulness.
who. Do y'all remember me sharing this?
I
Yeah, it
don't.
was. It
I
was.
never heard that.
I believe it was last year or the year before. You
Yes.
had
So
shared this
this
with
is
us.
imagine growing up and seeing your pastor on America's Most Wanted and
Imagine
being
being in the church
disenchanted
and
with
the
the
pastor
church.
is doing this to you and nobody else knows and you still got to show up every day because you a kid or whatever have you and you showing up with your auntie and whomever else is like get your ass out of bed, don't be not going to church and you ain't feeling no spirit because the spirit that's on you belongs to the devil.
I know
Right.
we waiting on Chris to respond. I wanted to add something before Chris speaks. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted
Thank
to
you, Joe.
Because once I speak, I was gonna close it out.
yeah, I want to say. I just wanted to say one thing. If we all remember, they say what entity is the head of the church, and that is Christ. So church is included. Is religion isn't, but church is included because Christ is the head of the church. I just want to kind of add that. But go ahead, Chris.
No, what I was fixing to say is so there's a story that I know I've said, I believe, a couple years ago. I believe it was you, Rashad. And I believe Jeremy was here at the time when I brought this story up because this just reminisces with that story that I told you guys about where I was at this church that we was at a hotel and a female minister decided she wanted to go ahead and lock the doors and tell everybody that they need to be able to give $40 to $50 after we already been tied in the church. We just gave the
Huh.
money. So yeah, she told everybody. She said, "Ushers, lock the doors." And she said nobody can leave until we give $40 to $50. She said, I know y'all got it. She said, y'all just gave. Y'all can go ahead and give the $40 to $50. She said, because I know y'all got it. And she said, there's no reason to hold back on God and hold back on him when he's already given so much to you. I said, my thing is now you want to use God in this when you need our $40 to $50. God didn't never say he needed our $40 to $50. So that really sent me somewhere and made me realize, you know what, Chris, stop visiting other people's churches and keep on going to your own because my pastor don't do stuff like that. My pastor actually owns his own business. He works for the postal service. He doesn't ask or live off the church. So that's one thing that I respect about my pastor. And my thing is at the end of the day, that's disrespectful. You should never hold anybody hostage for any type of money when you're not giving back to any other members in the church. So my thing is at the end of the day, churches stop holding people hostage. There's no reason to hold anybody hostage because I'm telling you, you're gonna hold the wrong person hostage one day. They're gonna go up there and haul off and knock the pastor out. So I'm just saying, don't catch people. You got to catch people on the right day. Now, this day, I guess you caught them on a good time, but stop, just stop doing this because it's not a good practice, and it just can go wrong on so many levels. It really
I
Plus,
go
you
to
can.
can
summer
give with
church.
your acts of
Yes.
service.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Your time, your talent, your heart. That's a part of giving to the church. And the problem is we do too much finance and don't cover a lot of heart. We don't
Exactly.
give a lot of heart. But we're supposed to give our talents that God gave us to give back to the community. But we can move
Amen.
on
Exactly.
to next topic.
Exactly. D-Lyric. Exactly. I know.
This is a good
What is?
topic. I think we should have a religion
Yeah.
show just to go,
What did Shanae say? She said, "This is why I have church at home. Hold me hostage at
Amen to that. Amen. Oh, I did want to show this because I forgot to send
Yes.
this to Chris.
No.
I want to show y'all, and we're gonna move on. This is just
Mhm.
something to be taken jovially. Let's not be too sensitive. I've made a couple posts, and a lot of people were upset.
Oh, that's right. You
Somebody,
supposed to, yeah. You didn't send that to me, Rashad.
oh, I didn't, but what is it doing? Can y'all see
There
my
we go.
screen?
Here we go. There we go.
Can y'all see that?
Ooh,
I thought it was funny, but a lot of people are very sensitive. And I say what we
It's
got
the
to
fact that
learn.
they got the usher there.
In my mind, I'm like this. So I tell everybody we have to learn to do better. We got to be able to hold each other accountable.
Mhm.
Uh,
What's going on, Stevie?
wait a minute, why am I no counsel?
hi Stevie.
What's
Well,
going
Lord, now
on?
I can't get back to the screen.
Hey, Stevie.
Stevie.
What is happening? Why are they doing that? Cancel.
Hey,
He's back. He's back
Stevie.
on the screen now.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me go back. But anyway, I thought it was a lot of people. A lot of people very sensitive when it comes to religion, and a lot of people don't see the damage or the non accountability in churches. And I tell a lot of people this we got to do in our community. We got to first hold people accountable,
Hmm.
acknowledge things, laugh, and move on because this wasn't really anything that detrimental to what was going on. Like Summer said, it was a conference.
Hey, Wise. I'm sorry.
That was it was very detrimental to me.
Yeah,
It was very detrimental to me because my thing is you hold me hostage for
yeah. If
$40.
you were there, I'm talking about we all.
I'm
Most of us
just-
wasn't there. We were just making comments, and I just found it. I thought it was first. Yeah, I disagree with it, but it's not
What's
uncommon.
going on, Wise Flow? We ain't forget about you.
Hey, was
Oh, I'm
so we
sorry.
apologize to everybody. We do apologize. We're
Yes,
trying to
to
have our
all our
conversation, not forget our
yeah.
thoughts.
We ain't forget about you,
Wise
Wise
flow.
Flow.
Y'all ready for our next topic?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And
So
and
our
I want
next,
to say this
go ahead.
so because all of our viewers that are coming in that do rock with us, we want to make sure that we say hello to everybody. We don't want to miss any and everybody that does come on and take the time out to view our show. While you're at it, since we're at this point, make sure that you all follow and follow our channel, the Extraordinary Network. While you're at it, make sure that you do share this live with all of your friends, your family, whoever, your enemies. It don't matter who you share it with. Just share it with everybody. um, and make sure that you subscribe, like, share all that good stuff to our channel as
Summer's
well.
having an issue with her camera. I don't know if someone
Uh-oh.
want to take a moment to exit and come back, but I had that issue on a previous show where maybe I hit the wrong button, but I could not get the camera to show.
We do
So
appreciate you for your support too, Oswald.
thank you.
Yeah, we
Uh,
do.
Sorry about that, Summer. But but what's crazy though is so I'm getting the text messages that are coming through also comes through on my tablet that I'm using. And it's funny because I keep seeing Chris, and I know Chris is not texting me. It just show Chris. It just say Christopher Walker. S. Walker. That's what I have you saved as. But
Yes, yes, Trey, we are triggered. At least I am. I'm triggered.
I think we out of just the love of people and the love of God, we don't want to continue this down this rabbit hole of just disrespect. And there's no disrespect because we all got opinions, and I think we there's nothing wrong with fundraising, nothing at all. But just like we've discussed, it's our words and the energy that we put off because the ushers are too busy doing other things. The ushers are really they're the temple police historically. If you go to the Bible, they call them the temple police, and the temple police are
Mhm.
the ones who keep order in the church. Those are the ones who maintain order, safety, protection. If somebody passes out, needs some water, they have a lot of things to be doing, and I feel like if that was communicated from the beginning, just like we discussed, what's the goal was. If we need to raise some money, if we need to pay Shirley Caesar, because I'm telling y'all, I was a part, I was same background for Shirley Caesar. Shirley Caesar told us she was not coming out until she got $10,000 in her hand, cash. And the thing is, I'm like, so you mean to tell me we've been rehearsing for 3 months and we don't get that money? I mean, we got some of the money,
It
but we
is a
didn't
lot.
get anywhere near what she got. So I'm like, oh, so you just gonna not sing? I was like, so that's just, and I was really very vocal and loud. I said, so you gonna have us? I got my mama, my daddy out here. I was going down a list of things. I'm like, just because you didn't get your money, that sounds like a you problem, not a we problem.
Right.
So I was going off, but I understood because her name was used. She's a legend. And if you promised her some money, you should have gave her money. But the day of, to not give her the money that she requested, that pissed me off. But at the end of
Well,
the day,
like I said, to Marvin Sapp, get your life in order. You need to get your finances in order as well, because if you need $40,000, you may need to make some new music, so you can do something about that. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to
hopefully
Jess
summer will.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
Never
hopefully
knew he
summer will
had a
come.
church.
Jess Hilarious confronts Breakfast Club co-host on air over maternity leave fallout. Have y'all been following this story?
I think Summer been following this one a lot more
I've
than I
been
have.
following it too. It's
I've been
interesting.
following this story, and I can tell you the whole entire thing. So
Go ahead,
pretty
Najee.
much, Jess came
Hey,
back.
Summer.
Wait, were we playing something?
Are
Yeah,
y'all seeing me?
yeah, we
Yeah,
see
we
you.
see.
Amen. Okay.
Amen.
And we could you want to go to the video first, Najee, and then we'll
Yeah,
go to you, Nick. Go to you.
yeah.
Okay, we'll do the video first. So then everybody can get for those that are not following, they can get an understanding of what's going on.
Okay.
Person, not one person comes to my defense at all. Like when like not one motherfucker ever with this online shit. Like, why the fuck should we have to keep playing it? Man, listen, I know one thing. Angela Yee ain't that motherfucking crazy. Not as crazy as niggas try to make out to be. Nah, it's the reason that lady wanted to leave that show. I don't know how she did that shit for 13 years, my nigga. I'm telling you. I don't give a fuck. Y'all already know what's up with me. I feel played with. I'ma play with niggas. Like, that's just like, come on. I've been quiet a lot. If Jess Hilarious is quiet, it's a motherfucking reason. I always got my motherfucking mouth open. All the time. How about y'all clear some of this shit up for you? We supposed to be a team. Some of this shit up for y'all teammate. That shit is ran like a high school. Yeah. It's ran like a high school. It is. Fair East Side High. Fair East Side High.
Is she even speaking?
Before Mr. Clark, though. Like when he first got there.
I don't know about y'all, but just sound a mess. 'Cause I
Y'all want a
can't hear
bitch to keep her cool. Look, check this out, Joe. Look, man. I get up every fucking day. Every day. And they always talk about, you ain't at work, you ain't at work. Yeah, bitch, I started picking up more shows. Hell no. That's how I'm getting. Hell no. Hell no. I have more fun outside the fucking studio than I have in there now. Is you crazy? I'm this shit up for y'all team.
Before you start, Najee, I just want to point out something. What she said. She said it's run like a high school. That's literally what the Breakfast Club is. It's just a joke. So I feel like she played herself. But go ahead.
Pretty much what it was just hilarious. And this is what happens when you have a bigger following. Just Hilarious was listening to all the comments. So when she went out on maternity leave, that is when Lauren LaRosa, she came in to take her place. And I ain't gonna lie, Lauren came in doing Jess's assignment, but she came in and did it 10 times better. So that night that Jess did that, they let her come back to work the next day because I was watching the entire thing thinking that she was going to be fired. But hours later, they aired it on YouTube on my way to work. And pretty much she apologized about it. She let the comments get to her. All it was just, I wouldn't say jealousy, but she thought that they were trying to replace her with Lauren just based on comments. So pretty much all this was about was just comments. that she was getting on social media and applying it to her personal life. And one day she just snapped. And I tell everybody this all the time: don't let, well, if you don't know the people too, don't let the comments get to you. Just don't
Hmm.
do that. And that's what she was doing. Because Jess is still up there thriving. They've all made it good, all kissed and made up, including her and Lauren. And she's apologized about that video since then. So yeah.
Well, I'm reading the comments. I'm gonna read a couple of them. So, Shanae says, "Get her out of here." Uh, and then we got Ross says, "Hey Najee, hello everyone." Then we got Shanae said, "Lauren,
Hello, Ross.
whatever her name is literally a journalist and Jess is an influencer." So that is a difference. Because to be honest, I'm
Andre Ross.
hey, I don't even really, I don't really know Jess. To be honest, I just understood who she was last year, and she's been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to reporting or doing that segment required more than just reading. Like, only person that successfully could just read what's going on in the news was Wendy Williams. That's her thing. When it comes to everyone else, you have to have some type of talent in that skill set. If you want to tell me something that's going on in the entertainment industry or in politics, you have to be able to get me caught up and do things to kind of make me want to know. And Jess is not good at that. Lauren was good at that, and they made it about her pronouncing, pronouncing words correctly, things like that.
And
It wasn't.
reading.
It was just the ability to actually be a journalist, and and I don't want to talk bad negatively about Jess because I don't know her personally. I just don't think she's funny. But I didn't even know she was pregnant. That's what's crazy about it. And I do watch some clips from the Breakfast Club, so I just feel like I said, the Breakfast Club is something it's been around a long time. Free Wendy at this point, okay? By the way, she forgave her son. Since we talk about it, Wendy Williams forgave her son for mishandling her money. I just wanted to just throw that out there. But it's like, for me, how do you can't really, to be honest, when you have a gig in the entertainment industry, if you want something solid, regardless if you have a contract or not, because contracts can be paid off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I owe, like, I can remove you and still adhere to the details of the contract, and that's where a lot of people don't really. They get into this entertainment industry and forget that you can be replaced. Never give
Well,
somebody an opportunity to replace you. But I'm glad, it seemed like things have worked out for them. But the show is corny. It's always been corny. So I feel like I don't even take the show serious.
well, just so you, when you mentioned that, I stopped watching the show when Angela Yee left. To
Right.
me, it lacked integrity after that. It felt antagonistic and intentionally inflammatory for no reason.
Hmm.
It felt like she added a substance and kind of like a validity that the show needed.
Hmm.
And I felt like I could learn and get more information from there while putting up with the shenanigans of the production and the other two. So when she left, I didn't even want to watch. And then I I have to say this because I'm always a proponent of my community.
Hmm.
Jess Hilarious has been very transphobic, very anti trans people, very anti LGBTQ, and to me it's always gonna be up from there. I love that black woman. I support her. I think she's funny. I did, but after the comments that she made about my community, I just couldn't see myself supporting her in that capacity. And I mean, I watch a clip if it comes up here and there, but the viewership that I had, I don't want to watch it anymore. And the Lauren girl, she added what Angela Yee did, just kind of a like for those of us with any
Knowledge.
kind of intellect,
Hmm.
any kind of like we want to learn something. She kind of gave us that.
Shanae
I didn't think Angela Yee was boring. A lot of people said that, but I didn't think she was. I found
Jeremy
her to be
Bourne.
informative. Um, and I think she was. I think they were a great balance because Charlemagne added the entertainment and Angela Yee they were a good balance. But I don't want to hear Charlemagne make and Envy make gay jokes all day and like, or just weird pause. I don't want to hear that all day. And then when the people come on, they don't seem to be like prepared or ask like probing questions. They just seem like, oh, you came today? Like they had no idea. When Angela was there, I felt like the interview was going to go somewhere. With
Mm.
them, it's just like they don't know how to follow up on the question that was asked or anything. I'm surprised they have careers.
But you know,
Yeah,
Mess,
their guest does make they guests do make the show. I totally agree, Shanae.
I
It's
think.
hard to watch or listen. It is anymore. I'm not
Well, I just
interested.
feel like Charlemagne is rude to all the guests.
Mm,
I'm really not a fan of bullying. Like, if somebody's gonna take the time out of their day to come on your platform, which is the only reason why it's relevant,
Hmm.
are your guests and the guests that you can get on your show. Don't make them feel like they ain't shit, like, and that you're bullying them or putting them on to poke fun. Just like the other day, they was talking about how they was looking at Ro James and saying that he had a fat ass. Like, I mean, what's the purpose?
excuse me.
Like, it don't make sense. So I feel like just being on the show just fit whatever they were already doing at the time, because I'm not a fan of Charlemagne. I'm just not. Fuck him. But because at this point it's not really covering the news. It's like, who can we poke fun at? Just like when Dank went on there and they got her that whole big ass couch. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? They did that shit so they could laugh
Oh,
at her
I remember
ass.
that.
Yeah, like, I mean, I ain't mad because she was whack in her, reason for I mean, Shanae, I ain't seen Rose ass to even be able to support the comment. My point is that it was just very messy to talk about. If you're not homosexual, why are you making comments about a man's hips and ass? You know what I'm saying? Like, for what reason? You know what I'm saying? Because if somebody did it to you, you would want to punch them in the face, saying you on roll that way.
Donkey of the
So
day.
why do it? It's not funny. Yeah, it's just not funny. Now the whole thing with Jess, I actually listened to an interview that Jess did with somebody else, and it gave me a little bit more insight on her that I didn't have, like her personality. I feel like we like to judge people about the ways that they make money, but if just with the mess is what got her popular, why would she stop doing that? It doesn't matter what you're doing on the internet, there's always somebody there who feels like they can judge you when they're not doing shit but being on the internet for free.
Mm.
So therefore, be like me or shut the fuck up. That's just my opinion. But you know, the show itself, I feel like, is kind of a bullying situation if they don't like you or if they don't agree with you. So, what difference does it make? Now, Lauren, yes, she did a better job, but let's talk about is this station really about journalism or is it about bullying? Because what you doing? If bullying is allowed, then yes, they need to pick people who are going to fit the bill, and
Hmm.
then we don't need to shade them or just don't watch it because you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter if she stuck with the original content, Shanae, because she brought her own flavor to the situation, which is why they would hire somebody to be on the platform to bring their sauce to the situation. Um, they are bullies before she got on the show. That's the point I'm trying to make. The
Yeah.
reason why they brought her on is because she bullies the people that she puts on just with the mess. And the start of all this, whom I love, is Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams was always willing to dig in the gutter and pull out everything else. See, we are very judgmental as a people when we're not doing that. So I just feel like it's not against you, Shanae, because I feel like you should say your opinion just like me. But the point is that everybody has an opinion on what you're doing, whether you're doing what you love, whether you're doing what you're good at, or whether you're just doing what people tell you to do. It's always somebody who ain't doing shit or
Hmm.
doing what you doing or putting the work in or doing whatever that's got an opinion about what you're doing. And we can't let that deter us from how we getting our money. Somebody thought Jess was funny. because she's made hella money off of YouTube and her Just with the Mess platform. Actually, the Just with the Mess is the part that made her money. So I mean, it is what it is. You still tuned in even when she got hired. So what we talking about? So that's my point. Like at the end of the day, if we're wanting real journalists, then we will stick to stations that do real journalism. If we're not, and we just want commentary on what's, celebrity gossip, then we're gonna listen to people who do shit like bully people, which all the people on that platform do. Now Lauren is new and she's actually trying to do some journalism, but hey, we still tuning in. So if you don't like a person, let's stop tuning in to them
Mm-hmm.
and not give them a platform. But if we still gonna give them a platform, let's not try to talk shit, because what are we doing in the place of them, or else are we supporting?
I think in the show itself, I don't know my phone. I mean got my computer. I was like, wait a minute, what's happening? But anyway, when it comes to this platform, I think we got to keep remembering that this is the Breakfast Club. I don't even take it seriously. But
Yes, Don Lemon, I agree.
what just with the mess, just hilarious. It's when she was feeling some type of way, but it didn't make sense. Like she kept trying to say what a producer's job was on a show. She was totally wrong because she kept trying to make it seem like, because Lauren is a producer, she's a producer of the show. You can't tell a producer of a show what they can and cannot do. And I think she either the lines were blurred and she didn't understand really, because basically Lauren was like, "Oh wait a minute, let me try to enhance the show a little bit. I can come on, like for example, Chris is our producer. He's on our show. He can come and go and be a cast member, or whatever. Just like if you go to the View, the original Barbara Walters was the creator and producer of the show. She would come and go as she pleased, and I think this was a educational moment for her. You know, you're on a radio show. Television and radio and stage are two different types of the producers' roles are different. Like a stage play, you're not going to see the producers come on stage to act out because they did not rehearse. But when it comes to like in a television show, no, you're not going to see the producers come and be a cast member and be on the show and interact with dialogue, things like that. But when it comes to radio, radio really has no rules. As a producer of a radio show, that radio show can, enter in the producer. Because if you watch any radio show, the producer always have a mic. The producer can come in and correct you. The producer come in and add more to it. The producer can do a lot of things, and I think Jess thought she felt comfortable. To be honest, she got comfortable. She thought she was the a producer, and or she forgot she wasn't. I don't know what was going on in her head, but I think for her that she basically needed a moment of enlightenment. I do wish her best for her. I don't find her funny. But I don't want anything negative to happen to her. I want her to continue to chase the bag, continue to make that money. I would never put anything on anyone unless they're someone like, and I hate to even bring it up because I wasn't here last week, but someone like Monique, she's problematic. She's trying to hurt someone else's bag. That's something. The only time I'm against someone who is, I'm against someone, and I'm like, hey, you're gonna have to shut up, get your life together, and then come back. But I feel like this is an educational moment for Jess, and I just kind of want to leave it at that.
Now, Summer, let's both be honest. Dink Big Ass did need a bigger chair.
Dank needed the sofa. I ain't lying. I ain't lying, I ain't frying. Okay?
I was trying not to
Dank
say that, but
Dank need
Dink
more
did
than the
need that
push up.
bigger,
The point
the big
ain't
ass
that.
walk right on there.
They
That's
brought her
it.
the point is they brought her on the show and gave her the impression that they was in support of what she
But
had
they was
going
making
on,
fun of her.
just to like, I don't like passive aggressive behavior. For me, if I'm gonna call you out, I'm just gonna call you directly the fuck out. And anybody who know me can attest to that. I'm just gonna say what I gotta say and I'm gonna close it down at that. You know what I'm saying? And you could spit back at me if you want to, but don't pull up to this table because this is a fire, bang bang. You know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is, I would have said to her, um, hey, Bigum, you done came up in here talking about you could fit in a Subaru and you need a couch to sit on here in a studio. So didn't you need the bigger SUV if you need the bigger couch,
And I think the
the
guy
bigger
tried to
chair?
answer that, and it's like she
They
just got
did. She said
offended.
she fit in her friend's tire, but how's his shocks doing since you sat in the back? You know what I'm saying? Like these are the ways I would have addressed the situation because I'm not gonna act like I'm on your side if I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just me. Like just be who you are in real life. And with Monique, Monique has like beat a drum to death. Like, girl, either tell a joke that we find funny or sit the fuck down. I feel like that about everybody. Like, do what you came to do, what your niche is, and then just be good at that. Like, people, it's plenty of people out here who gonna do you wrong. It's plenty of people out here who ain't gonna give you what you worth. But it's your job to um fight for yourself. Like if somebody's hiring me for a thing and I feel like I'm worth $1 million, why would I ask for 900,000 if I'm worth $1 million? You know what I'm saying? Like if you miss negotiate with somebody, it's not their problem for paying you what you allowed. It's your fault for not properly negotiating for yourself. That's why you got a team. She had a whole team. Nobody on your team said, "Hey, hell no." You know what I'm saying? Like you mad for nothing. Tyler is always gonna be on the side of Oprah because Oprah got the biggest bag. Quit playing with him. You know what I'm
I,
saying? Like I'm just saying that's just how it is.
I want to say this, and then we can move on from this. So with this whole situation dealing with Jess Hilarious, I'm not. like I said, I really wasn't a person that really, listened or viewed the Breakfast Club like that or whatnot. But I do. I guess I look at both sides of the spectrums. I look at her side of the story as well. Then I look at the other side of the story with the other person that came in while she was on her paternity leave. So I'm looking at it from both sides of the spectrums. My thing is, if the other person was was more talented and actually knew what she was doing and knew what she was talking about and actually can hold down the show, then I feel like that she should have been given that spot. Um, that's just how I look at it. I look at it from a producer standpoint. If somebody else is doing the job better than what the original person was doing, why not give it to the person that's been holding it down since that time? Um, so I look at it like that. And then for you saying that you don't even really enjoy being there, then what the fuck is the problem? Then like
Quit.
I don't understand. So I don't know. I just look at that whole thing and it's just a big mess. It really is. It's a big mess. We already know that it's a lot of drama over there on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne and all them. So I'm just looking at it in those perspectives as well. But I just say, get it together on the Breakfast Club. Get it together.
Get it
Get it
together.
together.
All right, and
That's all I have to say.
kind of next topic. I actually think this topic, this video, actually had me emotional
Yes.
because I have the ability to be empathetic to people's challenges.
Wait,
Um,
what video, Jess?
I'm gonna go into the topic. The topic is Tennessee Rep Justin Pierce's snap
Oh,
after GOP lawmaker comes for his dead brother in a heated gun debate. I've lost some people to gun violence, both friends and family. It is something that I feel like we know nothing's going to change because the people who have the power don't care. Like they literally just
Hmm.
made teenagers in Florida now can carry guns, and I'm like, you want people to get murdered at school? Like it's like, are you? But if we think about it, when it comes to gun violence, there's so much money to be made. From just you get gun lobbyists, they start paying more money to your campaign. It has nothing to do with the suffering of the people. And at this point, I'm like, I wish we as Americans were more engaged in everyday politics and make sure we have people in power that actually care. Because the thing is, if we're not always 100
Hmm.
engaged, this is what I always tell people, like the Republicans, the reason why they are successful and they're successful at doing bad things, if that makes sense. When it comes to like the
Hmm.
Republican Party is because they're engaged. Their base are engaged constantly. They vote more than traditionally than we do because if you think about it, and it's not that necessarily that uh, Democrats don't care. It's just Democrats as a whole they don't have the money, so they typically have to work jobs that keeps them from voting in every election. They're not just sitting at home twiddling their thumbs. And I always bring this as an example. If you think about it, and it is racial. If you think about it, white people have more free time than black people. And the reason why I'm gonna put up an example, I'm thinking about like things like The Voice and American Idol. These young little teeny bopper girls and some 20, 30, 40-year old white women all day long, all they can do is just do this. We trying to navigate our 5 children, trying to get ready for that job interview so we can stop working this stupid job that we hate. We are trying to navigate, and then we got to also think about our parents who are aging now and
Right.
need medical assistance. We have so much going on, and it's not fair, but it's life. So I tell people,
Let's also be real too, Rashad.
yeah,
There is a such thing on the Republican side or the Democratic side with voter suppression
oh,
that the
absolutely,
Republicans have
absolutely,
caused towards us. So that is a very big situation.
And do we have the video,
Because
by the way, of him snapping
yes,
out on that?
yeah, I
yeah. Go
do.
ahead. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, everybody. I got emotional. Let's see the video.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, I mean, and that I want to say this part first before we went to that video because there, like I said, a lot of people get that misconstrued. Voter suppression is a big thing. The Republicans have played that. They have played that role to a T. One thing about the Republicans that the Democrats do not do is the
Hmm.
Republicans play chess. The Democrats play checkers a lot. We have to get out of that mindset of stop playing checkers and get with the program. We really do,
Right.
and we got to start taking voting more seriously. And I agree
Absolutely.
with what you said too, Rashad, is that we Democrats do not take voting serious. We don't. We don't take voting serious. The Republicans take take voting very serious because they know what they can get accomplished if they go out and vote. They know what can be accomplished if they go out in masses and vote. We have to start educating our people and letting
Right.
them know how important it is to get out and vote. We constantly keep saying it. I know me, you, and Johnny had said it last year, Rashad.
Hmm.
People get out and vote. We say it every year, even not even during election time. We always tell our viewers, get out and vote. Make sure you get out and vote. Make sure you're registered to vote. Make sure that you get out and make your voice be heard. You
Hmm.
know, and and I kid you not, like when we start taking elections more seriously, then that's when we can really get some things accomplished. Like I know black people are always talking about reparations. Well, we're not gonna have the reparations if y'all don't go out and vote. You'll never
Right.
have reparations if you don't go out and vote. You'll never have it. So you have to get out and vote. Make your voices heard. Make everything count. And that's my biggest thing. As well. I I can't keep stressing it. I can't keep stressing it. There's always people that's always saying, I want this, I want that, I want this, but
Hmm.
you don't never get out and go vote. I don't ever see you go and vote, but you always complaining about something, but you never go vote. You never go
Hmm.
stand in line to go vote. I just don't understand it. I really don't. And I'm like, in other countries, to be honest with you, they're forced to vote. It's against the law not to
So
vote.
now, yep, yep.
So I just, I don't know. I really don't. I really, really just don't understand. But we're gonna go ahead and play this video. Like I said, I can go on a
Just
rant
to
all
see
day
the
on that.
video of Pearson's
Uh,
brother committed suicide in December, and he just returned to work. But go ahead.
you're right, Shanae. You're right. You're definitely right. These comments are coming in so fast. I'm sorry. Um, uh, yes, a black female told me many black folks have not voted since Obama. So souls to the polls. Exactly. 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 We got to get out and vote. We got to get out and vote. So let's go ahead and finally play this video um, of what Mr. Pearson said. Now, you know what? I'm gonna say this too before we go into this. Democrats are starting to wake up and they are starting to fight. We're tired. We're tired. Our elected officials are tired and they're starting to get out and fight. And I'm glad that they're fighting. I'm glad it took this. I wish they would have been fighting years ago. But
Right.
just to see them doing it now is it's amazing. Here we go.
The question of why we are doing nothing about the gun violence epidemic than to personally attack me. But let me explain to you what I have been doing, Representative, since you asked. My brother, Temperance Darnell Pearson, one of the loves of my life, passed away from gun suicide on December 1st of 2024. And since that happened, it shattered my family like gun violence has shattered so many families. Shattered my nephew's lives, my mother, my father, my other brothers who are remaining. I buried my brother. I planned for his entire funeral. My fiance made his obituary. I made sure that he was taken care of, even in death. That's what I've been doing. But also, not just that, I went to all of my nephew's schools. I met with their principals and their teachers to ensure that they are okay. I gave them and made sure that they had grief counseling and that they're seeing a psychiatrist. That's what I've been doing. And while you're talking about hard work, you need to realize that our job is not just in this state house with these marble floors. Our jobs are on the streets and in the communities that we serve. And so while you've been here passing bills that have been hurting transgender children, while you've been here passing bills that have been hurting the poor, hurting the marginalized, hurting the disenfranchised, while you've been here passing bills that have not ended poverty, while you've been here passing bills that have not helped people who need Medicaid expansion, while you've been here doing the hard work of making sure that our state is not the state that it can be, because you have decided.
Representative Pearson.
Reality of our situation is only to be.
Representative Pearson.
While you've been here doing that, I've been in my community.
Representative Pearson.
Meeting with young people, going to school, registering
Representative Pearson.
voters. That's what I've been doing. Hard work doesn't just happen with this legislation. It happens.
Representative Pearson.
And if you will, Chairman, just one more minute, because Chairman Farmer seems to think that he somehow
Representative Pearson.
seems to understand my life better than I do. You need to understand that hard work isn't just sitting there and shutting up and passing a bill. It's doing the hard work of justice and love and mercy. It's
Okay.
making the voices of the poor and the marginalized, and it's taking your
All right.
and your pain and your heartache, and it's standing in front of people who you know may not like you, standing in front of people who you know will disrespect you, people who you know will talk down to you, and saying in the honor of people like my brother, in the honor of people who have died from gun violence, in the honor of people who have died from suicide, we need to pass better laws,
Representative Pearson.
and fight for a state where everybody is able to live more freely from the pain of gun violence that me and my family are experiencing. That's what you need to think about, Chairman Paul. Come on. And if you can't think that, learn to shut up.
All right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen.
Learn to shut up.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Learn to shut up.
Chairman Farmer, briefly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Representative Pearson, it seems that it's very common in your party when you disagree with a comment, and I was not disrespectful to you, that you resort to yelling. Basically, everything you just told me, you just did. I have a family. I've made sacrifices every year.
Representative Pearson. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going, ladies and Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 2 ayes, 7 nays.
The noes prevail. House Bill 1392 fails.
No. No, sir.
5-minute recess.
You should have hit him. Did they mute our video? Is our video muted?
Yeah, that was already muted. They muted everything from that video.
Oh, okay, from that part. We were having a lot of you. When the video was playing, y'all can't probably hear us. We were discussing, as the video was ending. I did make a comment. I said, "You should have hit him." I'm joking, but sometimes when you play in my face, and y'all know what I mean by that. We as black people, when you're playing in my face, and I've experienced, or I have the ability to feel, emotions. Don't play in my face, because
Right.
at this point, you are disrespecting not only me, but my ancestors, my family, my community. And the thing is, it does go down the racial lines, because you playing in my face and talking about I'm yelling. I'm yelling because you don't want to hear me. I'm yelling
Exactly.
because you don't want to listen, and you don't want to because you know I'm right.
Mhm.
Right.
as more like we talked about how Democrats have been kind of weak and had no intestinal fortitude. We talk about that a lot, but this is what we mean to react.
Mm-hmm.
Show some kind of emotion. Let me feel like you or want my vote again. And I feel like him being able to share an experience, they should have let the man talk because that's being human. Let the man
Exactly.
out. He's had it. It's not like he's talking about a constituent, which is just as important because we all have lost someone.
That's
But
right, Shanae.
it's like these, right? Exactly right and done. I love my cousin, but we literally have to do more. Um, than just protest as Democrats. We have to do more. We have to be if they're going to be. And I know we talked about this recently when I was saying that when they go low, we have to have some time. Some people say we should have some type of decorum. Absolutely not. I'm not capable of. I'm not that grown. I always tell people I'm not really that mature. If you want to act up, I'm going to act up. We're going we're going to do
You're
that.
on match levels. Yep.
But we
Yep.
can have. I mean, we can. It takes a lot of both because there's some people that can sit back and But we are in 2025 and we still fighting these same battles. It
Yes.
shouldn't take this long, and I feel like I'm that energy that Representative Pearson gave is the energy that I would give when I get into politics. Y'all gonna see me
But you
act.
know what though? You know what though, Rashad? He comes from that group of the AOC and the Jasmine Crockett,
Exactly.
and that is the new to me, this is the new Democratic Party. That is the future of the Democratic Party. That is that is our generation.
Hmm.
That's the generation of we're fed up.
Hmm.
We're tired of sitting here being steamrolled, and we're not going
Hmm.
to be steamrolled like our fellow Democrats that actually enjoy being steamrolled.
And
Schumer,
that's it.
to point out,
Remember, he
we're
was
not going to do it.
also
We're not going to be
removed.
steamrolled.
He was removed from his position. He got reelected. They tried to silence him by suspending him and removing him from his seat.
Hmm.
But it ran again and got his seat back. That's determination. That's answering your calling. And I feel like he was entitled to react. But go ahead.
But let Marjorie Taylor Greene act this way, she would be. They would try to make sure she's just fine. So
Hmm.
Hmm. They'll never censor her like they doing Jasmine Crockett, and
sure they won't.
like how they did the other representative that stood up at the State of the Union. They'll never
Exactly.
censor. They'll never censor her.
I think what we're failing to realize is that some of the um
Shanae, what you talking about?
he talked down to black people, black Republicans. Um Oh, I don't believe it. Yeah, so anyways, I think what we're failing to realize is that some of the what is considered the Democratic Party is Republicans who have um not been able to get a seat on the Republican side and so thus have pretended or infiltrated themselves as Democrats so that they can get over there in that party and make decisions that support the party they
Republican.
actually
Hmm.
support. And we act like that can't happen. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So therefore, I just believe that since the beginning of time, even Jesus couldn't escape evil.
Mm.
You better say
You know what
that.
I'm saying? So therefore, it's always going to be in the equation. What our responsibility is to not be
Right,
affected.
Rochelle.
What we're supposed to be doing is yeah, exactly. But beyond being black, see
Hmm.
what we fail to realize is that there's some white people that they hate also. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's bigger than us. What they want is their agenda, and they're gonna do everything that they can do to make sure that it happens. Where we're failing, I feel, as especially black people, is that we keep on letting this shit piss us off. Name a time when we got some fairness
Hmm.
in America.
Never.
Okay,
Ooh,
then
I
be
love
quiet
summer.
then. So at the end of the long, hard day, what it gotta do? It gotta end. But it's never gonna end when we keep playing in the hands of the enemy. When we know what they plots
True,
and plans
Rochelle.
are, and then we steadily getting uh we're steadily getting offended. No, what I'm not speaking to is whether Jesus spoke up or not, because we do a lot of speaking up. The thing is that he had to do some action at
Mm,
the end of that. And it wasn't no play action. He was willing to give the greatest sacrifice, which was his life,
mhm.
for his thing that he was fighting for. So what we keep on doing is failing to carry out what we really standing for in the ways that make sense. Why are we fighting a government that was never designed to serve us? It don't make no sense, but we keep doing it. We keep on putting ourselves in positions to boycott and do all that type of stuff so that they can call you erratic and shoot your ass. Do we not know who we are in this country? You keep doing it like that's the definition of insanity, straight up. You keep doing the same shit and getting the same results, but you don't feel like you should switch it up. Then, plus, a lot of people are vocal about about a thing, but what are your actions that follow what you talking about? You believe just not shopping at some place for 24 to 48 hours ain't gonna do shit for this economy. Are you going to support the black businesses that
Speak,
are
summer.
local? Are you going to create some black business? Are you going to create jobs for the black community? What are you going to do exactly? We like to talk. That's all we do like to do. But see, me personally, I've been going to say, let me step up, because I could talk all day. But the action is what makes change. And that's why in the 60s when they was making change, it was because they was willing to get shot and killed for a purpose, but they was going to really act that out every day, not just a couple of days.
Summer, I want to say something on what you just said because you did make a lot of sense right there. One thing I can say is that this boycott that has hit Target has taken Target down a whole notch. Also, the boycott against Tesla. These white folks have brought Elon Musk down
Right.
to being a from a 400 billionaire to now a 300 billionaire, all going down to close to almost being a 200 billionaire. So people are definitely taking action, and I for one I'm glad that people are out here and not just using their voice, but also taking action. They are
But I'm
tired.
saying that it has to take more than a day or two.
Oh, of
That's what I'm
course.
saying. It has to be consistent action over a period of time that creates the real change. When
Hmm.
they were marching, they didn't just march that one time. They didn't just do shit
Right.
that one time. They
Right.
created a support system of what we gonna do is really make these motherfuckers feel what we talking about. I feel like that part is kind of lost in today's action taking,
Hmm.
because we're only willing to do a little bit of inconveniencing ourselves. When the real change was being made, they were willing to be uncomfortable for a longer extended period of time to make their voices heard. And then they were also creating avenues to support one another so that they could actually sustain themselves while they were taking action. That's what I'm, just to bring some context to what I was saying. That's
Hmm.
all I'm saying. We have to, number one, so say if you're going to boycott, I got to be prepared to have your back when you get locked up and get your ass out. We're not doing that.
No. I want to make this statement. I want to make this statement because a lot of people at these town halls have been telling these Democratic representatives, if you go out and you get arrested, we will be behind you. We have your back. And they have consistently been telling these representatives at all of these town halls, go out. We want you to get in trouble. We want you to get in good trouble. We will be behind you. We got your back. But you have to be willing to go ahead and take that initiative, to take that action. Because if you are not willing to do it, we're not going to get behind you if you ain't willing to go out here and jump out here and fight for us. Because we elected you to fight for us. And if you're willing to do that, we're going to be behind you 10 toes down while you getting locked up. We're going to be right there with you too.
I want to add this, if I may.
Hmm.
When it comes to exactly what you said, I'm not against it, but
Hmm.
we do have to know. We talk about how Republicans play chess. If,
Hmm. Hmm.
let's say, 15 Democrats get locked up, and the Republicans decide to bring forth a vote, we're going to miss those votes. So we
That's true.
have to be careful. We don't want people really to get in trouble where they miss a vote. We want them to be able to get, see a judge quickly, get out, or whatever charges drop, things like that. But the Republicans will move a vote closer. Something they just probably, and this is what they do as part of their chess. They want an opportunity to bring forth a vote when they know the Democrats don't have enough.
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted to piggyback on what Summer was saying,
Mm-hmm.
give an example of what she's talking about. The Montgomery bus boycott lasted
Mm-hmm.
381 days. That means
Yes.
there was a lot of people who walked to work. They had to find ride shares.
Hmm.
381 days. That's over a year, and
Hmm.
it's the commitment to the cause that Summer really is saying. Like, it's okay to do what you need to do to bring awareness, protest, or whatever, but it can't just be a one time thing, and it has to be something that's ongoing, because we know the only thing that they care about is money. Because
Mm-hmm.
if we affect their pockets, that's literally what was happening. They were losing money because most of the white people had cars. It was the black people that really was bringing hurt, and some white people who also joined the bus boycott as well. I think that a lot of people don't know, because the protests that's been happening. I know we talked about this before. Have been hijacked. The plan wasn't is not one day. There's a whole year
Yeah.
protest financially. So I think what's really happening is social media is watering down the full scale protests, and that's because people want it, like Al Sharpton steal somebody else's idea. Like, man, you didn't even come up with this, but you put your name on the boycott. And I'm like, how
It
you?
was way too. It was way too many hands in the
Yeah,
pot
too many people trying to
instead
have.
of just being the original
Yeah,
of what it was supposed to be, and that
and
I
you
kind of
know why, right? It's because it was a white man that came up with it. That's what
exactly.
happened. There's a
I
white man
kind of
that came
felt
up
that
with
that was going to happen, though. I kind of felt that that was going to happen.
instead of acknowledging working together. And I think some black people, including Al Sharpton, it's different between, like, I love my people, but I don't love. I mean, I love my people, but
That is
I'm
true,
able to
Trey.
recognize the BS within our community. I don't like that. Like, don't capitalize, and we know Al Sharpton is an opportunist. There's other people that are opportunists. We have to be able to recognize those people so we can, like, Black Lives Matter was not problematic. What was problematic with Black Lives Matter is that people started using the name and
Hmm.
doing their own thing, because there was no leaders. There were no leaders, and there was no top person in Black Lives Matter. It was
That's true.
something created
And
by.
that's what made that that's what made Black Lives Matter so potent because they
Right.
couldn't pinpoint who the leader was in that
Mhm.
entire organization. And that's what made it so successful because when you have a organization such as that and you can't figure out who the leader is, it's hard to pinpoint or try
And
to
the
take
rest
it
of them, you
down.
can't mess with them like that. You can't intimidate them because there's no leaders. And literally, like, I was watching people go on Fox News. He's like, "I'm the head of New York Black Lives Matter." It's like, no, you're not. You decided to put your face in front, and then the real creators, and then they tried to make it. This is why the black community, the LGBT community, the black LGBT community has been at the forefront of civil rights. This is
Hmm.
why I'm so upset with our black community that don't allow us to work together. I mean, there will be no Martin Luther King without Baynard West Rustin. There would be no civil rights. There would be no women's march movement without Baynard Rustin. Like, literally,
Exactly, Trey.
we get all this attention toward the people that, and literally, Bayard was like, Mr. Rustin was like, if I take the face of this, they're going to talk about my sexuality, and it's going to overshadow what we're trying to do. So
Hmm.
he literally put Martin Luther King in the forefront. He was like, "You need to do this. I
Exactly.
got your back." And even though Bayard literally took the heat from it, because once it started coming out that he was gay and he was behind it, they tried to diminish the civil rights movement. Just like when it comes to the Black Lives Matter movement,
Hmm.
oh, there were lesbians. It was two black lesbians who created it,
Hmm.
because they were also real estate people. Basically, they had a real estate empire where they were buying businesses and things like that, refurbishing, selling. People were saying they were using money for Black Lives Matter and buying property, but they were already doing that before Black Lives Matter became a thing. But because we have terrible media companies, we don't know how to capitalize on correct information or correcting people, because no one wanted to come out and say, "Oh, these people already." No one wanted to do that. They wanted the negative energy toward Black Lives Matter because we don't own our own media companies.
Right. And that is very true. That is very, very true. I do want to say this, and we can move on from it or whatnot. I do want to get to at least want to try to get done with at least one more topic. I know we definitely are pressed for time because these are very passionate topics that we have definitely put together for this
Sorry,
evening,
Jeremy.
guys. But we can also move some of these to next week as well, so that's not an issue. I believe that's why some of our viewers do say that they do want us to have more than just one day a week to do this show. But I know with all of our schedules, I know that's kind of hard at times. So I do understand that as well. Um, but
We're in the talks about opening up.
yeah, yeah. I mean, look, I told you guys. I told you guys. I said, look, if you guys want to do it, I'm all for it. I'm always all for it. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm down.
In the words of
Um,
Whitney Elizabeth Houston, let's do it. Call my machine. I'll call yours.
but yeah, we're gonna go to our next topic. We're gonna make this one our last one for tonight, and then what we'll do is we'll take the last two and add them for next week for you guys, because we don't want to skip over any topics. We want to make sure that we're covering everything that we have on our docket. So our next one is oh my god, Sexy
Isn't this
Red.
just bizarre? Sexy Red
Oh,
sued for asking fans to attack her grandmother.
Ugh.
Can I tell y'all something that's weird? And here's the thing: I'm very careful of what I talk about because I know the internet is what the internet does. There's a video of her where she's on camera. It looks like she does a bump,
mhm.
and it's been going around. Now I don't think she's commented on it, but I know a lot of people in the industry have added their 2 cents because they say she walks away off camera, but she's still on camera, and keeps the camera on court. And my thing is, I was like. So in my mind, like, why would I? I'm trying to figure out. Let's go ahead. Let's get into it because I'm like,
Yeah, I want to read. I want to, of course, y'all know I like facts. So I want to read some little facts about this since there's no video or anything to it.
yeah,
So Sexy Red has been sued for allegedly asking her fans on social media to attack Nicole Barnes, the parental grandmother of one of the rapper's kids. According to court documents obtained by Page Six, the lawsuit filed Monday stated that "You My Everything" rapper, born Janae Wary, allegedly asked social media users to kick in the door of Barnes' home and conduct acts of violence against her. I,
what you say today? Got your name.
Exactly, cause baby, what?
Look, I know why you said that
Mm-mm-mm.
today. I know why you ain't gonna say it, but I understand.
I mean, I don't know what her grandmother could have possibly done to warrant this type of behavior, but we know the internet is ignorant. So why would you do that if you really love your grandma? Like I will get on and give my tea and give my opinion about whomever I want to whenever I want to. That's what the
Mhm.
platform is for. But
Right.
I would say I'm only the one who's allowed to talk shit about Granny. The rest of you bitches better shut the fuck up. And I mean quick. Because I'm not getting ready to let y'all do shit to my grandma.
Whether I like it or
Right.
Okay?
not, yeah.
Whether I'm her friend today or not.
Right.
Because that's a family situation, and what we gonna do is stay out of family business. What
Amen.
I'm gonna do is tell you that my grandma getting on my motherfucking nerves this afternoon. But you, on the other hand, with your keyboard hands, better shut the whole fuck up when it come to my granny, or I'm gonna make my way to your crib, boo. That's all I'm saying. Because the internet has a good way of searching up people' address and finding out where they at and taking people seriously on this internet and really carrying out your request. So I
I
think
mean, look what happened to Nancy Pelosi's husband.
absolutely That's so irresponsible for her to not create a context for what she really intended. Because do you know how many people the internet has found?
Mm,
All for conversations, especially on TikTok. Don't be on TikTok on the wrong side of the coin
mm.
because they will Google map the fuck out your ass and find you and then
But
kill you.
here's the part though. Here's the part for y'all. Here's some more to this. It says in the suit, Barnes claimed that in December 2024, she discovered that Red 26 had allegedly shared her address and picture of her home on Facebook. Now what the heck?
Mm-mm-mm.
You gonna? I'm gonna explain.
I'm fucking hollering Shanae.
So Sinead,
Wow.
if Sinead, she's being funny. It's an inside joke. I'm probably the only one that's getting it, but her mother name is Janae. So it's really just so
I was
it's
wondering who Janae was.
she's having a good time with the conversation. So don't pay no attention to Sinead.
Shit, for real.
But you know what?
I just,
I
but
do
here's another part to
yeah.
this that just like I said, all of this is just it's a lot. So then she allegedly asked people to physically assault Barnes per the suit. Sexy Red and her baby daddy are getting into beefs for whatever reason that have nothing to do with my client Barnes. Attorney Stephen Weaver told the St. Louis Post Dispatch Tuesday. Like,
Don't just sound like St. Louis. Don't just sound like something would happen in St. Louis. Apologies for anyone who's from St. Louis, but y'all know. I just feel like for me, I don't have like I always say, I don't have. There's no family member that I have issues with.
Mhm, I do.
Oh yeah,
Lawrence Pringle.
Oh Lord have mercy,
Lawrence
you
Jesus.
probably
Pringle
can speak on
from
it.
I
Have
hope
you,
you're
Is
watching.
this our uncle?
You and Rosalind. No, it's
this
not my uncle.
this
Mm-mm.
biological
Oh,
father?
okay.
Unfortunately.
All right. So,
Oh, okay. I was
so
trying
can
to
I
pass
pose
it
this to you since it's kind of like you know a generational thing when it comes to relationship. Would you go on social media and tell your followers to cause harm?
On my Instagram to my father?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
oh
this
wow.
And
this
I
is
don't
actually
care and
something
I
that's
don't care what
solid.
nobody says. I
No,
Oh,
no,
will.
no judgment because I wasn't there. I didn't grow up with you. I don't know the challenge. So
Oh.
Yeah, we
I
don't
mean,
know why.
so I feel like
Mm.
I feel like that's big. I mean, for you to admit that I would like that you would
Am I
really
gonna do it? No. I'm not gonna do it, but I would if I
Wouldn't
really wanted to,
mind.
but I'm not gonna do it though. Instagram will
you wouldn't
suspend
do
my
it, but
account.
you understand why this was done. Is that what you're saying?
Meaning like why
Like for you,
Why
did
Sexy
you
Red did it.
why six? You understand why
Said it.
six red
to be
had
real honest with you, that was just the immaturity in me speaking. The maturity in me speaking is I ain't gonna put that man on my platform
okay.
and for these people to harm him. So I wouldn't do that. I was just,
You been
Talking shit.
okay. I get
I
it.
could just
But
do
you know
things
what? I
myself.
was just about to say, Najee. Um, no, not to come at you or nothing like that, because I
no.
No,
know
no,
how
no.
I
I was
feel
just playing.
about certain people. But I wasn't even trying to come at you like that. You know what I'm saying? Like to tell you what you should do, because I ain't that person.
No,
But
I didn't think that.
I do want to say that I was about to come over and say to you, you know, we do be wanting to come for somebody jugular when we feel like they have done something to us that we don't agree with, and that's the part
Mhm.
of this story that we don't know what we don't know
Right.
who her grandma is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that people get paid back for what they do wrong, myself included. You know what I'm
Amen.
saying? Like anything
Mhm.
that you do that ain't right, it's coming. It's on its way to you. But we don't have to sometimes we just be wanting vengeance to happen to somebody right away. So
uh,
when
uh.
she said that, she was probably feel like y'all go shake the shit out this old bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's how she was feeling in the moment. But I don't think deep down in her spirit she wanted anybody to go over and do
But
anything.
here's the part what you just said right there, Summer. Here it is, right here. It said they said we did try to informally resolve it, and her attorneys thought it was a joke, and now they're finding out it's not. He added. Weaver said his client filed a police report at the time of Red's alleged post and has had to relocate out of her Hazelwood, Missouri, for safety reasons. Barnes claimed in a lawsuit that she has been unable to find a new home at a comparable price due to her now living in constant fear. She alleges that she is going to therapy for emotional distress.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Mm, mm, mm.
Wow. We're all just speechless.
Yeah,
Well,
I
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things. Like I'm really kind of like, I think I went
I
from
pray for them. That's
yeah.
it.
That's what I was
Like,
saying.
I
Now I'm
hope
in a
that
moment where I'm gonna
y'all
pray.
resolve it, and whatever, um, you know, whatever happens at the end of this, I just hope that it's to the best interest of the family, because there are generations that are being affected by this beef, and whatever is going on is a bigger thing than what we know about, and so there's only limited conversation that we could ever really, speak on.
and
So
but here's another key part to this though too, y'all. So Barnes asked the court for a judgment of $5 million in damages.
Mm.
Page Six has reached out to Red for comment, but did not immediately hear back.
You know what? I think it's we gotta have the grandmother's feelings, and even the mother who everybody that's related to these to both of them in any kind of way has to feel something, and I wish it's not my business, but it's my business because it's on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
She brought it out. I feel like I need, if you want me, and hopefully this will make sense. If you want me to cause harm to your grandmother, whom I don't know, and I'm your fan, and some of us might not be too bright,
Just to be here.
you're gonna have to give me the reasons, because I want to know, why am I risking jail? Why am I
reasons.
go beat, go just go beat up my grandmother, go kick her door in? Don't just say that. Tell me why, and then let me decide whether it's worthy of it. Or I'm gonna tell you, hey, get some help, lady. But but I do want to reach out to my cousin over there. Shanae, you good?
They going through it.
Shanae, I'm
Renee
gonna
is
call her
going
now.
through it. Yeah, I want to, I just, with this whole story, and it touched me because, I was raised with my grandma, and for somebody to go out on social media, if it would have been any of my family that would have said, I want to get my fans to attack my grandmother, that would piss me off because it's like, okay, you know what, you having somebody attack our family, like that's some really low life shit.
It
Like
is.
the matriarch of the family, like that's like a big no. You don't have nobody to attack the matriarch of the family. Like that's some insanity. Calling this state sexy red is that group of Gen X
Generation says
crazy.
crazy. Nah, you ain't lying though, Trey. That's facts. Because
But
that's weird as fuck. Because you know that they be moving on people like regular requests. I don't understand asking somebody to go out after your own grandparents.
Right.
Yeah.
That is wild.
or any other family, that's but what it sounds like, and this is just me because I have no information. None of us have real true information on the backstory.
Stop shitting.
I think what really happened is there's an issue with the father, and sounds like, because I've seen situations where people can literally have no relationship
Mm-hmm.
with the birth father or the birth mother, but when it comes to that next generation above, there's a solid relationship. So something went wrong somewhere. And I feel like I even hate trying to assume or try to come up with an explanation, but I want an explanation because who, like Summer is asking, why are we talking about this? Why are you even bringing this up? And it's very careless to do this to even your own enemy, but to do it to someone that's a part of your existence,
Yeah.
that's what's really kind of weird about it. Like, regardless of the
Right.
fact what your relationship is, you exist because of this lady. She was a part of the lineage. So I cannot mess with you, but I don't want no harm to come to you because there is family, and it's just weird. Like, I can't even. Oh,
I, you-
y'all go
look,
kick.
I always have known her to be ghetto, but god damn, to have somebody
Yeah,
put you gonna put a hit
ratchet.
on your
Yeah,
damn grandma? Like what
It's
type?
too much at the end of the day. You
Like
right.
what the hell?
That shit crazy.
I, you know what? This a whole new low for me.
yeah.
That's a whole new low. That is
Which is
a
a good
whole new
segue
low.
into our
Cause
mental health.
I'm ready to bite somebody's ear off if they fucking touch my grandma. Are you
See?
Right?
serious right now? That's my
Yeah.
grandma. Only I can be pissed off about her.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Amen.
Why would
Right.
you be this angry to attack her?
And how can you even create that relationship? Because
You don't even know
you
her.
don't know this lady. You don't know this lady.
But
Like, how
she
can you?
could be real mean. We don't know Sexy Red business. But I just think it's very irresponsible for any person of high influence to make a
All right.
blanket statement. Well, shit. I'm just saying. I'm not debating that. People grannies be out of order, but the point is, we don't need to be going to jail because we done sick the internet on them.
You
Because
love.
if something did happen, Sexy Red was gonna go to jail, right?
Right.
Yes, yes,
You going
absolutely.
straight on. You going
And
straight on the jail.
she finna lose this lawsuit.
She has kids. She has
She
kids.
definitely finna. The judge probably say, "Bitch, you lucky I don't send your ass to jail."
Go ahead and pay this 5 million, lady.
Yep.
Exactly.
Go ahead. I don't even know why we're here. Go ahead and write this check to your grandmother.
I mean, that's just some insanity stuff. Like, I can only imagine what the rest of the family had to say. I'm
Facts,
like,
Trey. If I was her family cousin and I love my granny, I'd beat the shit out of her.
Hmm.
I'm,
period.
I'm against violence,
Disrespected.
but I would beat her ass until she needed
You
medical
might not
attention.
love her. I love her.
No, it's just rude. I mean,
No, you're right.
I got family members who I'm not particularly fond of, but
Right, me
if you
too.
touch them,
Yeah,
I'm gonna beat your ass.
yeah.
You understand? Because that's my family. At the end of the day, don't fuck with them. I ain't gotta like them. I ain't gotta like what they do. But you not just gonna come at them. Me and you
Not
gonna have
check
a
it.
problem.
Not check it. Should I?
Yeah, because Trey said that was a hit. She can go to jail
Yeah,
and
she
serve some
can.
real time. Like that's realistic.
And it's terroristic threats because it was made over a medium,
Online.
online.
Absolutely on a
So
public platform.
And
she
then you
literally
putting people address,
And
you putting
Janae
people
got two
addresses and stuff.
kids.
nothing. So she, I think,
Who you
so
want at your family
Sinead's having a
reunion,
moment right now.
Shanae? The
Yes,
grandma
Sinead's having a moment
or
right now. She's
who
having
does
a
she
moment.
want? I have questions. God damn it!
So I'm
I
trying
want to
to.
know: is it
I have a lot
Sexy
of
Red
questions too.
that's invited to the barbecue,
No,
or
so
is it the grandma? Which
Sinead is
one?
telling her own story. She's sharing her own story. She can relate to to the situation.
About who? Is it the
She
grandma
can
or
relate to.
Sexy Red? Tell
Oh,
me who we talking about. I
so
want to. I
she's
want
drawing
in.
parallel because Sinead's mom is named Janae, and currently there is a tension between
No,
her.
don't. You ain't got to tell me the business. I
Yeah,
want to know
yeah.
who's the invited person. Exactly. The T is spelled
Oh,
with T. All
we're,
I want to know is who's invited to the barbecue. Is it Granny or
oh,
Sexy Red? Okay, then. Thank you, Shanae. You understood the assignment. She said, I want Sexy Red at the family reunion. All
you
right,
want
then.
you so
Period.
you want her to come and perform?
No, there's some angry grannies out here stepping out of line, is what she's saying without saying it.
That's what
So,
she's trying to
Granny, shut
say.
the whole fuck up because if not, I'm going to have Sexy Red come and Sexy Red going to tell you what I ain't.
I can't deal. I
Got to read
can't.
between the lines over there, Summer. I love it.
These po grannies. I feel so sorry. So sorry.
Sometimes the grannies don't be having their spirit in check.
Well,
Sometimes
you
it's
know, you got a
somebody
point.
granny whose spirit ain't in check. I ain't gonna talk about mine, but somebody's spirit that might not be in check, or you
Unfortunately,
know,
all of mine are deceased.
I got one left
Oh,
on the
really?
side of living.
Oh my
All,
God.
The
all of
one.
mine are deceased. But if you think about it, my maternal grandmother was passed when my mom was going to her junior year of high school.
Mm.
Um, and then, yeah, my grandfather lived to be 80. Oh, but that's a long story. I didn't even get into it. But I was gonna say, I'm about to share family dynamics. But everybody deceased, but if you think about it, I'm 45. My parents are 30 years technically older than me, so and you know that's the difference in the age group. And I'm the last of five, so um, that's kind of how my parents were. Old, my grandparents were old. Were getting old when I was born, so
Right.
that's why everybody is gone.
I'm gonna say this:
Well,
you all look so good. I keep forgetting you all are older than me because I'm like, your parents are what? Your parents should be like in their early 50s, but I'm remembering you all are. Never mind. But
Never mind.
Rashad,
Is
you look way
exactly the
younger.
right answer.
Thank you,
Rashad, you
Shut.
look way younger than what you're telling us,
thank you.
especially this one right here. She,
Me and Najee are the same age. I mean, me and Rashad are the same age.
Summer and I,
Not you, Rajay. Me and
Summer and I,
Rashad. I meant to say Rashad.
no, she meant right because I am in my early 60s. So yeah.
not your 60s.
Fuck you and the mama you rode in on. Look, I'm gonna tell you this though, for real, Najee. You
Uh,
literally are the same age as my oldest child by maybe some months.
how old am I,
Cause you
Summer?
30.
I do, I
I
do.
thought you was 30.
Summer, I'm 38.
You
You
are
a
not no
fucking
38.
liar.
I'm gonna say that that's the story.
You
I
are
remember
Yes, I am
30.
30.
that.
I know my math. Don't play with me, okay,
I said,
church?
you know you ain't no
You know, I
38.
know. And look, call me a journalist because I done discovered
You
that
done
you
did the
30 years
you
old.
done did the
I done
research.
did the math, okay? I know what's going on. But my oldest child will be 30 at the end of this year.
Wow.
So, yes, I really could have pushed you straight out my punani,
Hey,
okay?
mommy.
That being said, we're
Exactly.
gonna move
What's
on
up,
from
mama?
today. Are we ready for Sky's mental health moment?
Yes, we
Ooh,
are.
my
We are
favorite.
ready.
Yes, go ahead.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah,
Let's go
we
to
are.
church.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sorry for the cussing.
you gonna take us to church today, Mama. Well, go ahead and take us on in.
All right. Yes, welcome to your mental health moment with the beautiful sky. So, today I would like to talk about releasing the outcome. So, we like to focus on, things happening exactly the way we want them to. And that's not always going to happen because God's plan for you could be bigger than your plan for you. And a lot of times it is, right? And sometimes we're focusing on what we don't have instead of what we could get. So be okay with being a disappointment to somebody. We were just talking about the grandma and all that, and we don't know what her stance is, but a lot of times we are the object of somebody's negative story. We're the villain, we're the disappointment, we're the letdown. But be okay with that because you have to stand on who you are in
There
this
you go.
current moment, right? And it does not suit everyone. And you ain't ever gonna please anyone, even if you Gandhi, because some people didn't like him too. Okay. Um, you have to also stand on what you're able to give in this moment that you're in, right? So you need to show up for you before anyone because you can't give from an empty cup. You can't pour from an empty cup. So you have to be your best self, which means you're going to have to do some investing in you and maybe more than what you're investing outside of you, okay? So let them be mad at you, let them be angry about it, tell you how selfish you are, because in reality they're only mad that you're not doing what they aren't willing to do for themselves. Please hear
Mm,
me. They are mad at you for not doing what they are not willing to do for themselves. You're not Jesus. Okay? You might be called, but you're not him. So stop trying to save everyone by neglecting your own needs and take care of you because you are your star player in this movie that you're currently writing. And that is the mental health moment.
and the producer.
Hey,
Shout
hey,
out to Summer.
hey.
Summer. Y'all,
Summer
everybody check out
got it.
Summer's headset. I love it. I love
We
the
in
headset.
here.
Yeah.
I wanted y'all to hear me because I had something to tell you.
Yeah. You always got something to say. We need to hear you.
Let me guess, you're
Mother,
producing a movie. I'll star in it.
Shout out to Cory Booker, y'all. Who spoke for 24 straight hours.
Well,
Protesting the
you just took
administration. Shout out to Cory Booker.
my encouragement
He
moment
broke the
out.
record for the longest speech. He
You,
broke the
you see how
record.
Rashad just took over my little encouragement moment.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to get it. I had to get that out. Take it over.
Why does that on in?
That's terrible news.
Go
No, you
ahead.
got
Go
your
ahead,
encouragement
Queen. Go
moment.
ahead. Go ahead, bro.
Slow in. I do have some other breaking news though. So you know that special election that I was telling you guys about in Florida and whatnot. Well, we got our behinds beat tonight. The Democrats definitely lost both of those seats. So
Who?
um, yeah, down in Florida. So I wasn't surprised, but I was hoping that that with everything that's been going on, that maybe the people in Florida would wake up. Obviously, they didn't. So now the Republicans have gained two more seats for the House, um, which is really not good.
Uh-huh.
Um, which is going to give them that in their minds, they're still going to feel like they have a mandate to keep rolling out this craziness that they're rolling out. So this is just going to give them more ammunition to do what they're doing. So I just wanted to, break that news. I was really being, I was being hopeful at least for this election, because I thought, with everything that's been going on, that some change might have happened, but unfortunately, it did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Florida,
Wow.
they control the. I'm trying to say what I'm trying to say. They control the notifications of there are going to be special elections, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, which happens also in Georgia too. Just Georgia is better at uh, disseminating information when it comes to elections. But
Mm-hmm.
in Florida, they really block. They don't advertise that there's about to be a special election. They literally they bank on Democrats not being aware that there's an election today because they don't put it on the calendar.
Right.
And in Georgia, they have to. So that just goes to show you that what Chris was saying earlier during the show, it's that's a part of voter suppression. When you don't let people know there's a vote, that's voter suppression.
That's true.
And I refuse to believe that Democrats in Florida are really just not engaged. I don't think they're aware because they hope we don't know that there's an election on the day. Even in all states, Republicans don't want us to know because, to be honest, how can you call it a fair democracy if you're not telling people when they can vote and express their right to vote? So we got a lot of issues in this country, but we cannot just because there was a defeat, we should not be defeated. We should, and no,
Should
I'm
never
not
be
moving forward
defeated.
to help them guys get their lives together. They got to get their
This
lives together.
I look at it like this, but I still remain hopeful because they said that the Democrats did, they were very close to winning in this election, which lets people know that Florida is not as safe for Republicans as Republicans feel that it is. So it was very close from what I've been seeing over here reading, this entire time. So that does give me hope for the midterms. Is that Republicans need to realize that you're not as safe as you think that you are right now. You're constantly passing in crazy stuff that's hurting people. I feel that once they take Social Security away, which they are working on doing, they're just not pulling. They can't. They don't have the votes to do any type of legislating votes or anything like that. Um, what did Trey say? Trey said, when you bank on those who don't have the ability to get out and vote is a big issue, which is true. It's very true. It's very true. But what I'm saying here is when you have a group of people that are trying to continuously take from people, taking Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, food stamps, veteran benefits, and things of that nature. When you're taking those things away from
Excuse
key
me.
voting blocks, you have to remember there's over 70 million people in this country that are on Social Security, that rely on Social Security. That's a huge voting block. that you're
Big
fixing
one.
to take from. When you take from them, there's guaranteed that those people are definitely showing up at the polls. Those people are definitely showing up at the polls come midterms. When you're continuously taking away from the veterans, you're taking their veteran benefits, you're taking people's Medicaid and Medicare away. Those people are going to definitely show up at the voting booth. I bet my bottom dollar that those people are going to show up because people rely on those programs for whatever reason that there is, rather if they're retirees or rather if they're
Right.
and can't take care of themselves, rather if they are veterans that have retired from the military. You can't keep trying to suppress the people and think that people are not going to continuously trying to fight back. You can serve as much disinformation or whatever that you want to do, but at the end of the day, people are not going to stand for it. This is not Russia. This is America. We believe in fighting for what we believe that is right. And you're not going to just easily take our rights from us. And they feel since they was able to take Roe so easily from the women that they feel like everybody else is going to lay down and just allow it. They're not. They're not. They're not going to just lay down and let you continuously keep taking and taking. You can't do that to people. You can't. So seeing what I've seen tonight from this election, normally when Florida is just easily being able to be taken by Republicans, seeing what I saw tonight definitely gives me hope for the midterms, and that's how I look at it. I took a negative and made it into a positive, and that's basically what you can do at this point. Um, exactly, St. Jude's would not be able to support everyone. That's true. That's true.
But they getting hella money though. They are
Yeah,
collecting a good
they are.
coin.
Too
They are.
much. Hmm.
They're getting a lot of money. I don't know how much is going into the St. Jude Children's Home, but I'm gonna tell you right now, they collecting. But I don't know. I think at this point we have to kind of recognize that there is no, just like there's no pure race, there ain't
Mm-hmm.
no pure house. You know what I'm saying? Like there's gonna be some infiltrated parties filtered in each one. Like I feel like there's some Democrats over on the Republican side that couldn't get in on the Democratic side and vice versa. So we're going to have to expect there's going to be some resistance there,
Mm-hmm.
and we just
Hmm.
have to find like smarter ways to work around that and work against it so we can not be suffocated out by too much of the wrong in one section.
Nope.
Right.
You know what? I totally agree with you there, Summer. I totally agree. Um, you know, I look at it, you got to take whatever win that you can take, um, and that's kind of like how I looked at this election tonight. You got to take whatever win you can take. We didn't get blown out, but there was a good chunk of an opportunity that we could have taken those two seats. So that's how I look at it with that. And that's all I can say on that. Is that I do have some other possible good news for right now. The Wisconsin State Supreme Court election was today too. Um, so far, right now, with 21% reporting, the Democrat candidate for the Supreme Court pick is at 57% to 42% from the Republican backed candidate. Um, Now with 28% just now totaled up as well just now. So Susan Crawford is the Supreme Court pick for the Democrats for Wisconsin. This is the election that Elon Musk had been pouring millions of dollars to people, giving them $1 million checks. Um, so hopefully, we could triumph though the $1 million checks that he was pouring out to people. Hopefully, we could triumph, and we can show him that your money does not matter here. So when you have wealth within the state, that's when you have the opportunity to change the colors. from
There you
Trey.
go.
Yeah, you're right, Trey. You're definitely right. So like I said, I wanted to point this out tonight because it was a semi-election night here in America. um, so I just wanted to point those things out so that you guys can know what's going on in the country. Since we are having small elections this evening, and once the totals are in for the Wisconsin State Supreme Court, I definitely will make sure that all our viewers are informed on that as well, because this is going to play a very poignant role for Wisconsin, for what Elon Musk wants to do with Wisconsin. There's a reason why he poured so much money into Wisconsin, and people need to really be aware of what he is really trying to do in that state. The man is playing chess. He's
Yes, he is.
definitely playing big chess.
Well, not only chess, but also some illegal shit.
Yeah, that nobody's that nobody's gonna hold him account of.
Right.
So, like I said again, those were the results for this evening's election. For anybody that cared, um, again, I still remain hopeful, prayerful, and that we can get out of this nightmare at some point in time in the near future. But in the meantime, we still have to make sure that we are still being as positive as we can be, as much as we can be. Find other joys in life. Find something to take your mind away from certain things. Don't tune yourselves all the way out because that's what they want you to do. Make sure that don't let all of this news that comes in all day long, every single day, consume you. Find other distractions in life, but also make sure that you stay tuned and plugged in because that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. We're not living in a normal time anymore in this country. Normalcy is gone. Um, Rachel said, I remember when y'all spoke about Black Lives Matter earlier, they painted over it in DC. Yes, they did. Yes, they
Yep.
did.
Knocked it down. They spent I forgot how much money just to tear it down, but the reason why they had to tear it down was because of a bill they had entered the Congress, basically going to block funding for DC, and DC needs that funding, which is the weirdest thing. Like, how you going? It's literally the federal government, the District of Columbia. Why are y'all like? Why nothing makes sense? Nothing really made sense before now, but now nothing really makes sense. Um,
It doesn't. It
it,
really doesn't. But you know what? At the end of the day, though, bro, I'm gonna tell you this: evil can only last for so long. Evil does not last forever. Dark days does not last. They do not last forever. If you've noticed across the world in every empire, anytime that they had anybody that was doing some type of evil deed, the empire always failed. And it always rose with someone that was coming in to be a much better leader of what they needed. So that's what's going to happen, and we all have to make sure that we keep that in mind and not let this consume us. Now, you remember that was a time last year it did consume me because I was more fearful for everybody, and I was fearful for the people that was going to get hurt, and I'm still fearful for those people that are going to get hurt. But I had to realize that I can't let it consume me because if it does, then I'm going to end up getting sick, and how can I help fight for those that still need me to fight,
true that.
such as my grandmother and my great aunt. One of my great aunts have dementia. If she loses her social security or anything like that, how is she going to survive? Those things you got to look at those things.
And my mom too. Chris, I don't say it a lot, but my mom 2 years ago was hit by a car.
Mm,
And
Oh,
like
damn.
flip up, hit the ground, lost her dentures and all that.
mm.
I told her she was one of Baby's kids because she ain't died, she multiplied. But
Oh,
we have that type of like relationship where I can make
Yeah,
a comedy of a serious situation. But the truth of the matter is she was in the hospital as a Jane Doe for 2 weeks before we ever found. out
Jeez.
where she was at and what happened. So the bigger thing is that she solely relies on Social Security because she can't work. You know what I'm saying? Like the people who are in the situation where there's nothing that they can do and they really do rely on this income, that check pays for her house. You know what I'm saying? So if she didn't get it, where would she end up when her children are not in a position to support her at that capacity? So, it's a big deal. So I do totally understand everybody who's being affected by this. And that's why I really am wanting to connect with some of these organizations that are really helping to make a difference so that we can
Mhm.
come against it
I
and
totally
stop
agree.
it.
I totally agree. I really do, and my heart goes out to your mom for that as well. That I can only imagine the pain that she went through with that.
Right.
I can only imagine. So yeah, my heart does go out to you and your family for because y'all having to deal with that, with your parent. And look, I would give anything to have my mom back. Not in the state that she was in; she was suffering, but
Excuse me.
I would definitely give anything to have her back. That was my road dog. I miss her. Um, but at the end of the day, because she also was going to be starting to rely on Social Security as well, because when she got out the hospital, that's what she was going to have to be relying on. And I look at that as well, and I'm like, okay, wow, if my mom was here, this would be something that she would be stressing about and worrying about. There would be an extra stress on her. So I think about things like that. And then I also, of course, my grandmother is dear to me because she's the last grandmother I have. She'll be 90 in May. And, that hurts me to know that she could possibly lose her benefits that she worked so hard and put in on.
Cause who
Um,
finna hire her and what she finna do?
right, right. Exactly. It's a little joke. It's a little inside joke me and her laugh about. She told me, she said, I'm telling you now, if I lose my Social Security, you're gonna see me on TV marching down to the White House, crossing over that gate, and I'm going in there and I'm giving Trump a few choice words.
I'm laughing at our text group. I'm laughing at Summer.
Summer's a mess. Summer's a mess.
Look, I get it.
But I want to go ahead and close the show on a positive note from what Rashad had said earlier about what Cory Booker has done tonight. Hopefully, that opens the pathway and open the door to some others that will stand the test of time, get in some good trouble. As our former rep here in Georgia, the former John Lewis, may he continuously rest in peace, used to always say, the time is now. The time is not to sit here and to not do anything. We all must fight for democracy. Democracy, like Kamala said last year, is on the line. Like Joe Biden had said last year, is on the line. We must fight if we want to keep what we have been accustomed to for all of these years. Most of us, all of our lives.
Hmm.
So if we want to continue to have it, we must fight for it. And I'm here as a rebel, and I use this platform to do that, to make sure that I share with my brothers and sisters to stay in the fight. Don't get discouraged. Don't lose hope. Make sure that any way or any shape or form of matter that you can fight, make sure you do it. Make sure you encourage others to jump in the fight because we do not want to be under an authoritarian type rule of what we are trying to be pushed upon now.
Right.
So yeah, we must stay in the fight and we must not give up. And that's my encouraging moment to you all is that we are starting to see other representatives get out in the fight and jump out and to fight and push back towards Trump. So yeah, that's my moment. Rashad, you want to close us out?
Oh. For those of you that live in the Atlanta area, y'all come see me tomorrow, and DJ Rick as well, and our co-host Troy. We have karaoke each and every Wednesday at Mix Atlanta. Google it because I really don't remember the address. I've been going there since it was Colors 20 some years ago. But it is in Midtown, not far from Botanical Garden.
Rashawn, you gotta start making sure you give us these flyers for these events.
Um, all right, Rick, you still watching? Send the flyer. Stop sending the flyer earlier. Look, I'm already got it. I just didn't see it before the show. But I'm gonna make sure we do that. But anyway, karaoke starts at 9:30. Rashad gets there.
1492 Piedmont Avenue Northeast,
Thank
Suite
you.
B.
Y'all got that?
So again, for the people who didn't hear me, 1492 Piedmont Avenue Northeast, Suite B, and that is in Atlanta, Georgia,
Say it, Summer.
30309.
That's what I'm
24
saying.
minutes from me.
You never know who will show up either. As far as celebrity wise, I tell people all the time there have been people that showed up.
Who cares? We will
I
be there.
mean,
We're famous. We are important.
you're
And
right. You're right.
we're
But you
a
doing
good
the fun.
time. And what matters is that you're in the presence of people who understand how to have a good time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Summer. Though I appreciate that tag team, Summer. I really do. Because I
Yes,
I
yes,
got your
yes.
back. Cause I'm
And
your,
and
cause
and,
I'm
and
your skin
Rashad
folk and your kinfolk.
and
yeah,
Rashad, don't be surprised if you see us there tomorrow night.
I want to see her. But remember, Rashad
Definitely
will get
don't
there.
be surprised
Rashad
when
will
you
get there
see
about eleven
Summer.
fifteen. Just remember that, Rashad.
Listen, I'm gonna ask this of the church. Rashad, drag that ass just a
Close the
little
door.
bit.
Close the
Yeah,
door.
close the door of your home and enter the establishment so
Well,
that I
Summer.
may give you an embrace.
All right.
Because
I miss
I
you.
don't know if you can get there by 11:30. I may be yet hanging on, but
For you, I'll get there
hanging
before
on by
11.
a thread because
I'll get there
I'm the
before 11.
daytime person.
I'll get there before 11. I'll do that for you.
Please, I
You
mean, just
coming?
to bless my soul,
You
and
said
don't
24
make it a
miles. That's a hike. So I'm gonna
no
come in
24 minutes.
24 minutes.
If it's downtown, then I can be downtown
Yeah.
in
Oh, and parking
24
is
minutes.
free. Entry is free.
That's important.
Parking is
Entry
free.
and parking is free. Did y'all hear what the man said? He said
Entry and
it's
parking.
free. It's free to get in.
Free
The
game.
talent costs you because we gonna laugh if it
And
ain't
it's
there.
a big parking lot. There's actually two parking lots for the venue. But
Hmm.
anyway, until next time, y'all make sure y'all follow us on all streaming platforms. The Extraordinary Network. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And also engage with us on our social media platforms as well, so we can take you guys' ideas. But until next
And
time, and
follow
also
us too.
Jeremy Scott. Jeremy Scott had to leave, so I want to acknowledge him because he was a part of the show tonight. So I'm Rashad West.
I'm Summer Kai.
I'm Summer Kai.
Part two.
Part one.
And
Part two. Goddamn Pam.
and I am Christopher S. Walker, and this is Extraordinary Unplugged, and I hope that you all have a very extraordinary night.
Stay connected to our creators. Stay connected in love.
Good night.
Get,
Oh,
get
I'm
better,
doing
y'all.
the part even though my face isn't there.
Yeah.
Shame on you.